So, legal immigrant with criminal history arrested in California, woman's murder. But all the illegal immigrants are nice and safe and lovely people. Isn't that what the left try and tell you? Police in California have arrested an illegal immigrant with known gang ties, by the way, and an extensive criminal history in the February killing of San Jose woman. Carlos Enrico Ovidio Cazana, I'm getting that name wrong, 24, was arrested Monday night in the connection with the murder of the 59-year-old Bambi Larson. Police say he stalked her before stabbing her to death. Larson, a systems manager at St. Josie, did not show up for work on February 28th. That seemed unusual to co-workers who phoned her son to alert him. Larson's son and co-worker went to her home in the 900 block of Knoxville Way at around 1:45 p.m. and discovered her body in the bedroom. San Jose Police Chief Eddie Garcia said police arrived and found Larson suffering from multiple stab wounds consistent with a cutting tool, multiple lacerations to her body, and blunt force trauma. They also recovered a blood-tied towel, footprints from the scene near a sliding door. Garcia said the police searched for hours for video surveillance of the neighborhood and were able to find a suspect. The home security cameras showed an unidentified male wearing a backpack, pants, and long-sleeve sweater or shirt as he approached and later left the victim's residence. Poor video quality prevented the police from making a positive ID, but they were able to trace the suspect's path eventually and found a t-shirt containing DNA from the victim and the suspect. On March 9th, a man identified as a Conveyas, I'm getting that name wrong, was arrested for possession of methamphetamine, I'm getting that wrong, and was taken in by St. Joseph Police for processing, and DNA sample was obtained. Because the DNA results from Larson's case had not come back yet, the connection was not made and Carranza was released. Garcia said that when the results finally came in on Monday, police tracked down and arrested Garcia, who was on probation at the time for murder. Police located Larson's phone and e-reader in the suspect's possession. The suspect, Colorado, whatever his name is, he's a scumbag, stalks this St. Joseph neighborhood and his victims. He said he is a San Jose transit and a self-admitted gang member. So, look at the end of the day. Garcia declined to name the gang, but listed the extensive criminal history of Carranza, who had 6 separate detainer requests against him via immigration and customs enforcement agencies. Wow, imagine my shock. Here is another migrant who is a gang member who has been wanted several times for ICE for detaining and deporting. And he's just walking around without a care in the world. Let me guess, this is California or somewhere? Some sanctuary city? California, yeah. Imagine my frigging shock. According to Garcia, the suspect was detained by the Department of Homeland Security and the border in Texas and deported in 2013. He's already been deported once. How did he get into the country? Probably through the hole in the wall. Probably. 2 years later, he was arrested and accused of possession of paraphernalia and convicted of burglary in St. Josie. In 2016, he was arrested in charge of battery of an officer, resisting arrest, and entering and occupying a property, which isn't that just burglary? But anyway, that same year in October, Carranza was arrested in Los Angeles on battery charges. Isn't he just a lovely fella? Hey? Aren't you just glad that America is enriched by this diversity? His final arrest before the murder of Larson was in January on charges of possession of methamphetamine and paraphernalia. Despite having 6 detainers placed on him by ICE, Kazovic, or whatever his name is, was never deported. Imagine my shock. Garcia said the press conference on Tuesday that his officers do not ask people their immigration status, and doing so in Kazia's case would have impacted the results. No, asking you his immigration status when you've already arrested him several times probably could have saved this girl's life, right? After all, if he's not in the country, he can't murder her. He said, we're here to protect and embrace our otherwise law-abiding, undocumented residents, even when they murder you. Isn't it great? So we are not here, or nor should we be here, to shield admittance, gangsters, or violent criminals, regardless of immigration status. Yet you do it. The St. Josie Police Department Associated issued a statement similar to Gus's remarks, calling the legal system broken. When it comes to policing policies, there is a distant difference between a dreamer who commits a violent crime and a violent serial sexual predator with multiple offences. Our society must recognise there's a difference between someone who is trying to make ends meet for their family and self-admitted gang members and monsters who brutally murder an innocent woman in her home. Where is the feminist on this? Women's Day, come on! Where's the march? When can we turn up to the left protesting about this? They like to protest. They like to protest on the dime of a hat. So at the end of the day, I want to know, when is the left going to go through, and when are they going to protest this? I'm guessing it's going to be never. So, be right back maybe. Okay, Greg. That guy had about 6 or 9 ICE detainers. That's outrageous. Yeah, tell me about it. I'm sure he had a spark of divinity, like Pelosi said. Shocking while they live behind walls and armed security. Probation for murder? Really? Yeah, he was the right skin colour, so he only got probation. Don't worry, Amy. You and I committed murder. We'll be in jail. Eric, you should not make prohibition for a murder. No, you shouldn't. Murder should be jail time. It's easy. Some Dem congressman accused Trump of making DUIs illegal. What didn't anyone tell him? DUIs is illegal for Americans. Some Dem congressman accused Trump of making DUIs illegal. Really? Driving under the influence. I remember that. Actually, I remember hearing about that. It's apparently, guys, now it's Trump's fault if you illegally drive under the influence. Work that one out. This is outrageous. We're told manufacturers crisis over and over. Yeah, they just literally keep telling manufactured crisis on the hope that people believe it. Diversity is our strength, said every loner liberal ever. Totally agree on that one too. Me Too only applies to liberal women, not ones like me or that poor lady. Yeah. Where is the protest for this dead girl? I tell you who would organise it? The Republicans. The right. The people that would be considered alt-right, they're the ones that would protest this. Yet at the end of the day, the left, the progressives, wouldn't give two shits about this dead girl because she was killed by someone that was the right skin colour. But yet if it had been a cop, or better, had it been a white guy that killed her, oh, the rioting in the street, your wall-to-wall coverage on CNN. Hey? All white men need to go to jail. We need to talk about toxic masculinity, would be the headlines. What's the bet? We won't hear two shits about this. Yeah, he was talking about illegals and crime. Yeah, I remember that actually. I remember. That was a facepalm moment. But I don't know. Do you really? What do you do with these lefts, like these leftists that? And I'm not going there. Don't worry, Facebook. But look, at the end of the day, like these people that literally think that drink driving is not a crime anymore. You really must start to wonder if they've totally jumped the shark. Maybe they need a little bit of psychiatric help or something. Like there's got to be a reason why they're that deranged. There really has to be. And said Trump was going to make DUIs illegal for illegals. Yeah. Never mind the fact it's actually illegal in the first place. But work that one out. But guys, apart from that, look, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on this story? Are you surprised about it? Do you reckon the left will go through and protest? Do you think that they won't do anything because obviously he's a migrant? What do you reckon the response would be if it was a white guy that did it? Or an American Trump supporter that did it? I reckon it would be wall-to-wall coverage. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below.